110, brother. Okay. Got the wrong bloody turn off. Been a few, probably been a couple of years even since I've been on this freeway. This is one of the few in the state that's 110. Yeah. Got the one too early here, so I'm going to get this other one out here. Which heads off basically to the other property I used to own. That's right, Elvis Travels. I used to have 7.5 acres up here. I sold the place for 32 grand. Bought it for 33. It's not exactly prime, what's his name? Real estate. She's sort of out amongst paddocks and everything. Some of you guys remember when I used to go out here, there's a wind farm out here, there's a lake, did stay dry for many years. It's a massive blooming water skiing shenanigan that they sort of, it's an artificial lake. It's probably not massive in American terms, but it's fairly takes a few miles to only get around half of the damn thing, so might have a look at that. I was just going to go up to another town and maybe do a little bit of shopping, a little bit of wandering around, seeing what's changed in the last year or two since I've been there. Some of the blooming bonfire piles, friggin' massive. They just rip out a lot of old half-assed trees that are collapsing with tractors and take care of them. Anyway. This is the thing, you know. Some of us go travelling, you know, we're in a car that's got fucking electric windows, you know, and leather seats, and we're not living on sandwiches and sort of having one good meal a day. We got the cash to go through drive-throughs all the damn time. And this thing also happens to be a 99 model with climate control, where I can get it down to the exact half a degree temperature, you know. And this is old hat, you know. This car is probably 2 years' time. I don't even think I'll have this. I was questioning some of the shenanigans with the leaking rubber O-ring, thinking that it was basically game over and I was just going to have to go buy another one until we realised exactly what was happening. And you know, I don't have endless leaking pipes and shit on this. This is the thing, most of us don't have any real troubles financially. And most of us are worth more than 100-fold what a certain travelling wannabe Elvis impersonator is worth. Anyway, this will be a fair run, so I'll keep going. Yeah, it's not going to say good this winter either. Just the way it's built, you've always got this bit of a run of water right around the edge of it. And then you'll have random piles of rocks and other crap, and then further out it might have some water, which it does. It's sort of bullshit, like the road actually goes right through over to those trees over there. And they used to, this road here used to keep going, continue on right around to a caravan park that's around there. But they just decided to randomly rip the bloody thing out. And there's a bunch of trees that used to be there, and they chopped all the fucking trees down ripped the road out and put a bloody footpath in, so now you can't drive right the way around. So there's multiple entrances, like there's about 4 different streets that feed into the main road, but now, I mean, you know, it's like 2 streets that feed into one half and 2 streets that feed in the other half, which is a bit stupid, but there's a bit of shenanigans going on out there. If I'm not incorrect, it's probably something to do with the swans. There used to be black swans in here. British always, oh, you never see a black swan, it's almost an impossibility. Well, to be quite honest, I've only ever seen a few white swans in my life, and my childhood in Western Australia, there were black swans in the capital, on the Swan River. There's black swans here, there's a lot of black swans in Australia. And it's only the odd occasion you actually see some white ones, but I think they're out there because I can see the wings flying around, messing around with each other out there. Yeah, not very good resolution, but that's what happens when you got slow blooming Wi-Fi, and doesn't exactly help that the camera had a bit of resolution, as a viewfinder bloody died on it the other day, so... Alrighty. Well, this is this wind farm. In a second we'll get up to some that are really quite close beside the road. Pretty controversial thing because it hasn't worked as expected, actually. A lot of the people who had all these put in were happy to have them put in. Apparently they get $7,000 rent a year for each one of them in their property. So the guy on the left here is making a fucking killing. There's a bit more to it all though. Quite a lot more to it all. I think they're cheaped out on bearings, or something's a bit not quite right. There's one in New Zealand that's got the same issue. And quite simply, I mean, you can get out and you can actually hear them humming. But that's not the issue. There's those of you who fired guns inside or anything like that, you know you'll cause accidental explosions, and I've sort of may have done both. You'll know what I mean by shock waves. And apparently when a couple of these get in sync, all of a sudden you get shock waves that come through. You'll see them sort of almost spinning the same speed, and then they reckon you feel shock waves, and it gives you motion sickness. And there's a few houses down here, some of which have actually appeared on TV, and the people no longer live in them because they can't, because they feel sick endlessly. So what's happened is a lot of them have gone back to either the town with a lake on it there, or back into the other city. And apparently it's terrible. You can come out here, and if you're out here for any more than about 8 hours, you'll feel like crap for the next 10 days. And so they sort of try not to venture out here and just have a few sheep. That, I believe, is one of the houses that might have appeared on TV. The other one down here, I think, has. And, you know, $7,000 a year, but you'll never live in your bloody house again, and you can barely even do anything on your farm. They've sort of had a gag order put on them. You know, if you want to keep getting your money, you're going to shut up. That was the one. And in a lot of these houses have just become vacant because you just can't live in them without feeling sick. So what they actually had was, they had them all up, but they didn't have them like spinning. They just had it so the blades were straight into the wind as opposed to on an angle. And so there come a day where they basically flicked all the computers on, and all the blades turned around and they all started spinning, and that was the day that everything turned to hell. While they were building them, while they you know, they had basically all of them built, but they were just sitting still, and they were waiting on the last one or two to be finished. It was all fine, and the day they started spinning, that's the day the motion sickness started, and a lot of the people cleared out with it. So, yeah, they paid their mortgages off out of it all, but then they can't live where they're living. So, not so great. Anyway, a couple more miles and we're at my old place, so. Alrighty, I've hit the town. Still for sale. That joint often used to be for sale. There's a couple of vacant blocks in there for sale. Pretty ramshackle-ish old sort of a joint where not everybody is completely serious about the building situation, with a portaloo and 2 caravans / camper trailers. There's another guy down here that's got a little shed. I think he comes there every weekend. There's no shortage of firewood like you would not believe. So if you can see that, there you can. Bit of reflectivity on the windscreen, just the light keeps filtering through the trees here. But there's no shortage of firewood. This sort of saying about big widths on the side of the road, and they don't want the power line going down the side of the road, so they force it to go through people's property. And I'll point out that one smart ass who didn't want it to happen, and was the reason that if I had lived out here I would have also been off grid. Now even out here it's a bit of a ridiculous distance from the nearest city. You'd probably end up working on a farm, but then a lot of farmers, you know, work out their farm on their own. There's a little bridge, that little thing down there sort of goes into the water catchment, and that actually goes right into my neighbour's place. And then a bit of a thing I've got feeds into that same thing that goes into my neighbour's place. And I don't know where we have the last grid connected house here, and it might be that one there. And that's it. That's the last power pole. Because the prick who owned this one didn't want anybody to put it through his lousy few acres. So these guys here, who are very close to where I am, they're all off-grid. That's a pretty new house. It's only been there for a couple of years. The other house I just pointed out then, I thought it had a bunch of solar panels. I can't exactly see where they are. But my place used to be right there. And you see they got the old caravan in there. That was my joint there. They got a bloody lot of firewood and a caravan, and that's the new owners who've had it for a couple of years. As you can see, there's a decent amount of bloody wood in stumps and rubbish. Yeah, it's a long enough place. We're still not to the end of it. The end of it is still not quite the end in there. That runs into my place as well. The end of my place, that's all these little trees. They're all blooming pear trees, and I come up one year and it was covered in pears. I think the end of my place is somewhere in here. If I'm not incorrect. Yeah, it's just somewhere in amongst all that. Yeah, that's a neighbour's place there. Yeah, so it's a reasonably long place, sort of rectangular. And yeah, new owners are from the state capital. They've had it since, sort of sell it was, probably about August, September 2010? Yeah, sometime around then, yeah. As you can see, off grid of there. don't know if you could see the solar panels. There's that many damn trees in the way. Another guy there, solar panels, the back of his shed there, I think. That used to just be a shed. That house looks like it's only 6 months old, but he had the shed there for a few years. I don't remember that one, the shed with a shipping container. Yeah, anyway, I had to hit the main turn off here. It's funny, the property line goes down here and it gets a lot wider in here. And, a lot of oxalis, you can see all the little yellow flowers, damn stuff. And yeah, we better head on to the next town. Forest, 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 forest. Just and that's the forest. We go through a fair bit of this before we get to the next town. Not too much, only probably, I don't know, 10-12 miles. Bit of a work in progress. You got 4 shipping containers on the side. They didn't have any of them stacked on top of each other when I was here last time. One through the main there. There's 2 going lengthways there. Yeah. Slowly putting up blue board would be what they've rendered the white render onto, which is basically a form of pretty thick cement sheeting, and then you just render straight on top of that. And all you need to do is just screw it in, you know, and they've probably got a bit of a frame or something. I don't think they would have screwed straight in the shipping container because it's rather thick, but they may have. You can see a framework on top there where they're one day going to put a roof on, and they've put a whole heap of hardwood. You can just see the little down beside the render there. It's a bit of a trim, but work in progress, alright. I mean, that's been up there for more than 3 years since they've started this, and it's still sitting there. But good on them for having a shot, you know, making it possible. Got a tiny little joint here. And old joint across the road from me. Yeah, that's got a slate roof. Couple of panels there. You can probably see on the garage. It's another one, old stone building. Yeah, my voice is cracking up. I'm not incorrect, up here should be the old jail. Here's another ripper of a joint. Old stone building. Yeah. There you go. I'll pull over in a second. Log jail. Yes, completely made out of wood. I showed that years ago. It's a funny little joint, this. It was only probably a year after I bought the property up there. I was looking at a real estate board, and they had a house for $80,000 with a tenant in it, paying $80 a week. Now, to get a house at all in this country for 80 grand, that's anywhere that's not in the middle of the frickin' desert, is unbelievable. You know, you want to talk about Sydney, $670,000 houses. And that's standard, you know, that's normal, 670 grand houses. Like a blooming joint that does a lot of engineering and stuff. There's quite a few different industries around here, including one that's a major tooling manufacturer, which is kind of interesting. They're not the best tools, I must admit, but yeah. Anyway, I better turn around. I might show another place that's a 2-horse town that you can buy a house for probably 30 grand in, but that's because it's a 2-horse town. You know, this joint you still got milk bars, post offices, stuff like that. But anyway, we're getting flung out in the middle of nowhere here, so I'm going to pull over somewhere.